Have you ever stopped to wonder what might exist beyond what our eyes can see? Have you ever imagined that, in a moment of despair, someone or something invisible could reach out and completely change the course of your life? This is the story of Chico Xavier, a simple man whose extraordinary journey still defies logic, moves crowds, and makes many people rethink everything they know about life, death, and hope. Francisco Xavier, better known as Chico Xavier, was born in 1910 in Pedro Leopoldo, a small town in the Brazilian state of Minas Gerais. His childhood was marked by hardships that most people would find unbearable. He lost his mother at the age of 5, was separated from his siblings, suffered mistreatment, and lived in extreme poverty. But even in these circumstances, Chico showed something different. He claimed he could see and hear spirits, including his own mother, who appeared to comfort and guide him. What would have been a source of fear or shame for many was, for Chico, a calling. Time passed, and Chico grew up. He became a humble, hard-working young man, always ready to help those in need. But his mediumship only grew stronger. At 17 he attended his first Spiritist meeting, and from then on, he never stopped. He began to psychograph, that is, to write messages dictated by spirits, often from people who had already passed away, bringing comfort to entire families. The phenomenon was so impressive that soon Chico caught the attention not only of his town, but of all Brazil. But what is Spiritism, after all? Many people think it's just talking to spirits, but the doctrine goes far beyond that. Codified by Allan Kardec in the 19th century, Spiritism proposes that we are all immortal spirits, living successive experiences on Earth to evolve morally. Death, for Spiritism, is not the end, but simply a passage. Spirits can communicate, yes, but always with a purpose. To comfort, to teach, to clarify. And above all, Spiritism teaches that charity is the shortest path to true happiness. Chico Xavier became the greatest exponent of this philosophy in Brazil. Throughout his life, he psychographed more than 450 books, all with the copyrights donated to charity institutions. He never became rich, never sought fame. His only goal was to serve, but behind this almost mythical figure was a human being who also suffered, who also had doubts and fears. And it was precisely in one of these moments of fragility that one of the most impressive episodes of Chico Xavier's life happened, a story that, to this day, moves and intrigues everyone who hears it. It was 1946. Chico was exhausted. His mediumistic work was intense. Almost daily sessions, psychographed letters, visits to the sick and needy. His body couldn't take it anymore. One day, he began to feel a sharp pain in his chest, a high fever, a constant cough. The diagnosis was devastating. Tuberculosis, a disease that at the time was practically a death sentence. Chico was bedridden, weak, feeling the weight of despair. Imagine. The man so many sought for help was now completely vulnerable, not knowing if he would survive. But it was at this critical moment that something extraordinary happened. One night, already without hope, Chico received a visit from Emmanuel, his spiritual guide. Emmanuel was a constant presence in his life, always firm, always guiding him with wisdom. That night, Emmanuel approached Chico's bed and said, "Try to react. Your illness is of both the body and the spirit. Don't lose hope. If God wills it, you'll get better. When you go to sleep, remember me. I'll take your spirit to a beautiful place where you'll be treated." Chico, even in his weakened state, trusted him. That night, as he closed his eyes, he felt something different. It was as if his body became light, almost floating. He felt himself transported to a place of light, peace, and serenity. There, he was received by benevolent spirits who treated him with care, transmitting strength and renewing energy. When he woke up, Chico realized something had changed. The fever had gone down. The pain had lessened. In just a few days, he was back on his feet, ready to resume his mission. What happened that night? Was it just a dream, a product of despair, or a true spiritual intervention? For Spiritism, the answer is clear. During sleep, our spirit can partially detach from the body and be taken to places where it receives guidance, comfort, and even spiritual treatment. This is what Allan Kardec called displacement. or out-of-body experience. Many people report dreams so vivid and real that they seem more like experiences than mere imagination. Have you ever experienced something like this? Chico Xavier's story of spiritual healing is not an isolated case. Throughout his life, he collected stories from people who, after receiving a psychographed message, completely changed their lives. Parents who found peace after losing children, sick people who found strength to keep fighting, people who discovered a new meaning for existence. All this thanks to mediumship practiced with humility and love. But Chico never considered himself special. On the contrary, he was known for his almost disarming humility. Eusito sai. If any good comes from me, it's not me who does it. I'm just an instrument. Once, suffering from severe pain in his eyes, Chico asked for help from Dr. Bezerra de Menezes, a highly respected spirit doctor. Dr. Bezerra, I'm not asking you as a man, but as a beast who needs to be healed to continue his spiritual and earthly mission. Please, out of charity, heal my sick eyes. Dr. Bezerra replied with humor, if you, Chico, are a beast, then what am I? And Chico, without losing his humility, answered, you're God's veterinarian. These episodes show that, for Chico, no one was better than anyone else. Everyone was learning. Everyone had something to teach and something to receive. And it was this humility that brought him so close to people. He never refused help, no matter who was asking. One of the most touching stories was when a former employer died without money for his own funeral. Chico walked the streets of Pedro Leopoldo, asking for donations to guarantee a dignified burial. The whole town was moved. A blind man, upon hearing what happened, donated everything he had collected that day. On another occasion, Chico needed someone to care for a sick blind man named, after days without a response, to women. Kanauning Tauna's ladies of the night offered to help. Chico welcomed them with joy. Why not? Come in, sisters. Jesus will bless you for your charity. For a month, the two cared for the sick man, and before leaving, they confided to Chico. Prayer changed our lives. These stories show that, for Chico Xavier, Spiritism was much more than supernatural phenomena. Above all, it was a lesson in love for others, empathy, and respect. He believed that everyone, without exception, deserves a second chance, deserves to be welcomed and loved. But Chico Xavier's legacy didn't end with his death in 2002. To this day, his messages continue to inspire millions of people. Many believe that, on the other side, Chico continues working, now in a spiritual realm dedicated to healing and welcoming suffering spirits. Current mediums say that Chico works in a place called the Green Ray Santa Ismeralda, a space of renewal and harmony in the spiritual world. Spiritism, as Chico lived and taught, is a doctrine that unites science, philosophy, and religion. It investigates mediumistic phenomena seriously, proposes deep reflections about the meaning of life, and invites everyone to practice charity. But above all, it's a message of hope. It teaches that life goes on, that no one is alone, and that there is always a new opportunity to start over. After hearing Chico Xavier's story, it's hard not to wonder, are we really alone? Is there something beyond what we can see and touch? And if there is, how can we connect with this invisible dimension that is so present in the lives of so many people? Maybe the answer lies in the small acts of everyday life, in the gesture of helping someone without expecting anything in return, in a hug given to someone in need, in a word of comfort offered at the right moment. Maybe, as Chico Xavier taught, the true miracle isn't seeing spirits or receiving messages from beyond, but transforming pain into compassion, doubt into faith, and fear into hope. After all, as Chico himself said, although no one can go back and make a new beginning, anyone can start now and make a new ending. And you, after hearing this story, do you believe there's something beyond? Have you ever experienced or known someone who went through something similar? What impressed you most about Chico Xavier's life? These questions remain, provoking, inspiring, inviting reflection. Because, deep down, the greatest lesson Chico Xavier left us is that life is much bigger than we imagine, and that even in our most difficult moments, we can always count on an invisible force ready to help us get up and move forward.